Look at this. Right here. There's nothing between them. Just air. And air can't be that strong. I'm pushing down, and it's like there's an invisible, solid piece of rubber pushing me back. Magnets? Everyone's played with them. But if I asked you why, you'd probably say, because of magnetic force. Today, I'm going to tell you why asking why is such a dangerous and magnificent thing. Years ago, a journalist asked me this question. Why do two magnets repel each other? The answer I gave him made him a bit angry because I didn't give him a straight answer. Why? If you keep asking why, you'll find yourself in a very deep, bottomless well. Let me give you an example. Suppose your Aunt Minnie slipped and fell in the hospital. You ask why. The answer, because the floors were wet. That satisfies you. But then a child comes along and asks, why are wet floors? The child asks again, why do water molecules behave that way? You see, every why uses the previous answer as a stepping stone. If you don't know one step, you can't understand the next. 1. When I explain magnets, if I say electromagnetic force, it means nothing to you because I can't compare. Magnetic force is already the foundation of everything you're familiar with. Now hold on tight. Magnets repelling each other seems strange to you, doesn't it? Because there's no contact between them. But let me tell you a secret. You're not actually touching the chair you're sitting on right now. When the atoms in your body and the atoms in the chair get very close to each other, just like these magnets, they repel each other. There's such a strong electrical repulsion between them that you're actually hovering above the chair by about 1/1,000,000th of a millimeter. What you call contact is. Magnets are just showing you this situation on a much larger, more noticeable scale. Think about that for a moment. Everything you've ever touched, you've never actually touched. The sensation of touch, the feeling of something solid against your hand, that's all repulsion. Atoms pushing against her. You're hovering. The entire solid world is an illusion created by these invisible forces pushing back against you. This is what makes the magnet question so tricky. You want to know why magnets repel, but I'm telling you that all matter repels. Your hand doesn't pass through the table for the exact. So when you ask, why do magnets repel? What you're really asking is, why does matter work the way it does? And that's a much, much deeper question. Now here's where it gets interesting. You might ask me, okay, Richard, but why? Why are there such forces in the universe? Why does positive repel pause? Science doesn't tell us why the world exists. It tells us how it works. At some point, we have to accept nature's rules as they are. The most honest answer I can give you to the question, why do magnets repel, is this. Nature, at its most fundamental level, is a game built on these repulsive and we can measure it precisely. We can predict exactly how strong the force will be at any distance. But why nature chose these rules instead of some other rules? We don't know. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. This bothers some people. They want the final answer, the ultimate why. But I think the universe doesn't owe us an explanation. It just is. Let me tell you what really frustrated that journalist. He wanted me to explain magnets in terms of something more familiar. But that's impossible, because magnetic force is one of the most familiar things. It's holding your atoms together, right? Every single interaction you have with the physical world involves this force. It's like asking me to explain sound in terms of something that isn't sound. I can't. Sound is fundamental to your experience. Magnetic force is even more fundamental than sound. It's underneath everything. Understanding. Understanding means seeing how that phenomenon connects to other phenomena. When you understand magnets, you actually start to understand why light shines, why atoms stay together, and why your hand doesn't pass through the table. The world is a massive puzzle connected by invisible threads. They're just imaginary lines we invented to help us do calculations. They're useful fiction, maps we drew to navigate reality. But people treat them like they're real things, like you could reach out and pluck one like a guitar string. This is the trap of names and labels. We create a word, and suddenly the word is just a pointer, not the thing itself. You can know all the words and still not understand anything. Here's what I want you to do. Today, get 2 magnets. Hold them with the same poles facing each other. Feel that repulsive force. While you're feeling it, think about this. When you feel that invisible hardness, you're actually experiencing the way your atoms tell each other to stop. That push you feel? It's the same push that keeps you from falling through the floor. You're holding the universe's invisible skeleton in your hands. And when you push those magnets together and feel the resistance, you're not experiencing something strange or unusual. You're experiencing reality at its most honest. It takes the invisible machinery of reality and makes it visible. It takes the forces that are always there, always operating, and brings them out into the open where you can see them, feel them, play with them. In our next lesson, we're going to go somewhere even stranger. We'll ask, does knowing A? We're going to look at the real world beyond names and labels, beyond the comfortable words we use to pretend we understand things. The universe is stranger and more wonderful than any of the names we give it. And the sooner we admit what we don't know, the sooner we can start really seeing what's The truth never is what it seems.